Golf's no different from hockey. Requires talent, self-discipline.
Golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass. You should talk to my neighbor, the accountant, probably a great golfer, huge ass.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers? By height.
It's a very, very special honor.
I'm Paula Creamer, and you're listening.
Well, we're waiting.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, a.k.a. John Kreese from Cobra Kai, and you're listening to
Quiet, Please.
Let the word go out from here across the land. Let Daddy Noonan approve.
Hi, boys. Nice day for golf, ain't it? Quiet, please. Oh, you got secrets, eh?
Hey, this is Shooter McGavin. You're listening to the...
Hey, you guys. Hey, we're trying to have a podcast over here.
Unknown caller.
Indeed we are. Indeed we are. Quiet, please. The Golf Podcast is back once again. And we've got a lot to talk about. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Andy Hydorn, the ever-present one.
Hello, gentlemen.
Boston Bob, he's feeling a little homesick, sporting the threads, sporting the sweater. Love it, Bobby. Very nice.
I'm happy Baldessari tonight with the Bruins uniform and having Mark Bradley join us.
Yeah, well, you tipped my hand, and any of us, we're all fathers on this podcast. We're all known as Andrew's dad or Tyler's dad. Well, you're known as Keegan's dad. Mark Bradley in our virtual studio once again. How you been, Mark?
Good, man. How are you guys? It's nice to be with you again.
Living green. Yeah.
And this Keegan dad thing has been amped up a little bit.
You think?
Wait a minute. Is there anything going on with him?
No,
What's going on?
No, I'm just saying it's just people, there's always been this wonderful, proud moment. I'm Keegan's dad and he's doing well and he's a professional golfer and all of that. But with this Ryder Cup thing and the fact that he's been able to let this captaincy assignment inspire him.
Yeah.
At least over the past few months.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you've been hearing all this stuff amped up because of Happy Gilmore. But...
Well, there's a little of that. I couldn't believe it. I had a waiter at a table the other night come up and say, "Hey, I saw your kid in the..." And I hate to say it, but I won't even say it. But I want to see the Happy Gilmore 2. I should probably go to Happy Gilmore 1 first. Okay, is that sacrilege to say that?
Have you not ever seen it?
I've never seen it.
You probably got to.
I've never seen it, but I've had my
background.
junior program out there at Jacksonville Golf and Tennis Club. I've had the kids do the Happy Gilmore move. I think it's actually helped them.
It's the absolute
club and hit it hard and have fun with it and laugh.
Yep.
And so I will. And I saw he's in Stick, which seems to be, pretty popular show. And I thought he did a good job. He had some speaking lines in that. And so anyway, he's having a lot of fun with it. He's very busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
You throw all this stuff in there and, slide in a little TGL and yada, yada, regular golf. And then, of course, the captaincy of the United States Ryder Cup team. Gee whiz, he's busy.
Yeah, you think we might touch on that a little bit tonight, Alan?
Sure, man.
Maybe.
Well, if you
absolutely,
Andy, I had it on the show notes, but if you'd like to discuss it, we could,
We should give it.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Well, our colleague who could not join us tonight, Mr. Brendan Elliott, BE,
right.
He wrote an article actually back early July, and he already said that it should be Captain Keegan playing Captain Keegan.
I saw that article, and I thought he did a good job with it. I really did. And, it's amazing. I haven't asked Keegan about it at all. I just sort of, like I've always done with his career as a junior golfer all the way up through, I kind of stay back and watch it and see what's going on. And if he wants to talk about something, then off we go. But this particular topic of whether or not he's going to play or not, I have not talked to him about it. And we'll see if that changes. But right now, I'm so confident that he will make the right choice. I really am. I just think that if people say this, they say that. I don't think you can make a wrong choice.
No,
I don't. Look at these guys waiting to play, a Cantley and a Young and all these guys. What, are you kidding me? Come on, man. These kids can play. And
I know, but you know what? To me, it's a better team with Keegan on it.
Thanks for saying that.
As a player, and
Totally.
you know, I feel like, and we've talked about this on the show before, that they tried to make amends for what happened 2 years ago. And maybe created a weird dynamic to it, right? But all that aside, you know, I think it's not like Keegan's going to come up to, if he does end up playing, he's going to come up in the 23rd hour and say, oh, by the way, now I have to play too. I'm pretty sure he's been preparing mentally to do this.
I think it's August 27th when he announces his 6 picks.
Yeah.
Right.
And, we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, let me run it down here. We got Scotty, JJ, Xander, Russell Henley, Bryson DeChambeau, Harris, English are top 6 at this point, but literally there's less, like 92 points separating Harris and JT.
Really?
And then you got Morikawa, Ben Griffin, a guy named Bradley.
Let me stop you right there. Like, if you, let's set Keegan aside for a second. If you stop at Ben Griffin, you're adding JT, Morikawa, and Ben Griffin. I think you wouldn't get any arguments from anybody about any of those guys.
Not for me.
But then from there, you can start handpicking, the last 3 people. And Keegan, again, like we said, probably should be one of them. But if we say Keegan's one of those, the last 2, you have some good names to pick from, Mark, and you alluded to that.
Yeah.
Well,
let
me just finish, Mark. Let me just finish these. I know you probably Maverick, McNeely, Novak, Brian Harmon, Cam Young, Patrick Cantlay, and Sam Burns sitting at the 16.
Gee whiz.
I do not envy your son.
You just laid it out on the table, Alan, and I'll tell you, that's why I said, gee whiz. He's got some difficult choices, but boy, the talent he has to choose from there, including himself.
Yeah. Can I say this too? I think Cam Young winning last week, like, changes that whole dynamic too, because first of all, he's a great player. He finally broke through, but he's got that steely disposition.
Yeah, he does.
That would lend itself to being a good Ryder Cup pick.
Totally agree. For what it's worth, department with Keegan and stuff, but I agree. I like him a lot. I'd like to see him smile more, but maybe don't smile more.
Yeah.
Get out there and stare these guys down and kick some butt.
I think he smiles in a competitive way in the Ryder Cup and the big events where he gets so intense. I like that.
Yeah.
I think the team genuinely galvanizes and is better with Keegan, Mark. I really do. I mean, he's right there. He's number 10. To me, you're looking on past performance, and I think, and I know a little bit about the inside. I worked at PJ headquarters. I know the support system, and
Right.
to Andy's point, I hope he decides to play. I really do. We've been doing a trivia question every week that I've been leading, so a lot of people are a little more aware of this. But if tonight there we go, Alan, with the little billboard. If we go with the trivia question, who was the last United States Ryder Cup playing captain? It's been out there a bunch late. A lot of people know it's Arnold Palmer. A couple of little nuggets, though. There was. Do you know where this Ryder Cup took place?
Boy, I don't. It wasn't Worcester, was it?
No,
Worcester.
Worcester.
No, that was Harry Varden.
Yeah, that was 27. No, but it was at East Lake, and ironically, yeah, East Lake in Atlanta in 1963. Ironically, there was a 23-year-old, pretty darn good player from Ohio named Jack Nicklaus. He couldn't make the team because back then the PGA America, in its infinite wisdom, and the tour, part of the tour, you had to be a tour member for 5 years. So Jack was not a tour member for 5 years.
Good for you, man. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why he's the trivia guy, Mark.
Yeah.
And our resident historian.
Yes, of course.
A lot of people don't know the PGA of America owns the Ryder Cup.
Oh, it's so good that we don't have BE tonight. He would just...
Yeah.
He's tired of answering that question.
Yeah.
They just had to slide that little trivia thing in there.
That's good, man. That's good stuff. I didn't know a couple of things there, but I do know that Keegan's I saw something today where he said, I've always, reached out to veterans and asked advice about, what do you do? How do you sleep on the lead? What do you do before you tee off at 2:00 in the afternoon on Sunday? All these different things. And he said, when it comes to whether I should pick myself for the Ryder Cup or this and that, he goes, I have no one to go to. No, because it's Arnie's gone, and whatever the case may be, and what can I say? Whatever he decides, he's all grown up though, and
yep.
I don't know. I have.
I'll go back to
full confidence in him.
If you go back to looking at just the top 12, and you make it really easy, he's got a 900-point lead basically over Novak at 12.
Right.
Okay.
So
2 wins.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not in the playoffs, but anyway, I hear your point.
But the interesting thing, so you have McNeely, you have Novak, but then you got, as Bobby said, you got Cam Young, you have Patrick Cantlay. I mean, these are and Brian Harmon just barely on the outside. He's got some proven veterans to make some difficult, challenging decisions, Andy.
And then right after Cantlay is Sam Burns and Wyndham Clark, right? Although Wyndham should be on the 2-year suspension.
I see Alan shaking his head, and
but I think we should set the table.
Do they don't have a historical locker room though at Bethpage?
No. We should set the table for next week. We'll obviously for all the right reasons leave Mark off the hook, but we should all pick our picks the show before Keegan picks his. I think that'll be a fun exercise for us.
I think that's a good call. I think it'll be fun to see and you guys to do. And
I got my team.
Have him in the same sentence with Arnold Palmer, by the way, boys.
Yeah.
We're all, I'm older than all of you, but we're in the same sort of era. It blows my mind. I mean, he's being discussed like with AP.
Yep.
And
it's a little surreal, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. And he's got good vice captains. He's got Jim Furyk there, who's just been here. He's been around a lot, for many years. He's been on all kinds of different teams. I don't know where I'm going with it all. It's just sometimes it's incredible how it's all changed. And it sort of started for me when last year at this time I was out playing with my buddy, and Keegan was 51st in the FedEx Cup going into the BMW. And I put my phone away and I played 3 or 4 more holes. I look again. Now he's 50th. And he's going. And I said to my buddy, I said, you want to go to Colorado? And he said, yes. And since then, that victory there. And then when Furyk says, okay, I don't want you to be my vice captain on the President's Cup team. I want you to be a player. He got the winning point as a player, where in Glen Eagles at the Ryder Cup, he got the losing point. That's like seeing your kid strike out in the World Series to end the series. I mean, he lost to Jamie Donaldson, and that was tough. But then to come back and get the winning point at the President's Cup was really special. And then at that time, he was already our Ryder Cup captain. And when he announced that to all of us on the back porch of his home in Newburyport, Massachusetts, he has a second home up there, and his sister lives there, brother-in-law, all the gang, and Kay lives there, his mother, and he's got relatives in York, Maine, blah blah blah. It's just he walked out onto that patio and he said, I have an announcement to make. And we're not thinking Ryder Cup. He wasn't either. And he just said to all of us, he goes, Jillian was there, and his sister and his brother-in-law, his mother and me. And he said, I have an announcement to make. And I was already sort of put back because I'm going, okay, this is not like a Keegan thing. He keeps it. And he said, I'm the next captain of the United States Ryder Cup team. And that was talk about surreal. I even looked surreal up.
Yeah.
I mean it. I'm going, it's sort of a cliche. It's overused, but I'm going to look it up because I may need to use it. And gee whiz, it fits.
Hey, Mark, I think that's a time where we would all say it was wicked surreal.
Yeah.
It was wicked surreal, man. And
the interesting thing, too, is that, like you just said it, Mark, like Keegan was probably as shocked as anybody.
He was. Now, I'm going to give you the total timeline here. And you guys will know this before probably anybody else. I was there at his house after he finished defending his title or attempting to defend his title at the Travelers. So he's coming off a 3-week stretch where he played the Memorial, which was a signature event. Then he plays the U.S. Open, which is the U.S. Open. And then he plays the Travelers, where he's defending his title. He comes home, and the phone rings. So he doesn't tell me or his mother for 3 days because he was leaving the next day to go to L.A. He's doing that. Remember that thing with Tony Finau and Annika Sorenstam where they can only play with they can't play with their mid irons.
Yeah.
Whatever that whole campaign is. Well, Keegan's now doing that. He flies. He's whooped. He just gets a phone call from Seth Waugh saying, we want you to be the captain of the Ryder Cup team. So he tells Jillian, his wife, and he tells my unbelievable daughter, which, she's solid, whatever. And I think he waited till he got back from LA, and that's when he came out onto the deck. And when he said it, I'm telling you, man, I covered my mouth. I had to look away. I was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't thinking that. Not even close. So he sat on it for 3 days, and then what can you do? I stood up and I gave him a hug, and I told him I'm really proud of him and that he'll do a good job, and he will, and he's already doing a good job. Interesting pick, don't you think, Bobby?
Oh, yeah.
The kid from New England.
Yep. Classic. It's what's probably needed. I mean, I think, the competitor in him and having played, at St. John's and been out there. And
yeah,
I think all around, I mean, it's certainly a little bit of a surprise pick, and I still think, if he plays, I think it helps the team.
We've been following this Ryder Cup thing since we're kids. And this is probably the first time, I think, in the history of the Ryder Cup where there's a connection between the captain of any of the teams, doesn't matter if they're over in Europe or here, and the golf course.
Right.
And Keegan Bradley has that connection.
Yep.
And when he played with Courier, the superintendent, and they won I don't know if they won it. I think they did, but it was the superintendent scratch Met Section PGA. And this guy asked Keegan to play Courier. And then he's at Nassau now. But then he told Keegan, he goes, okay, on Monday, you can come out, park by the maintenance shed, and don't go across the road. don't go across the road. Stay on the 13 holes, and no one will see you. And they did it for 4 years. You can't make
that's awesome. The little sneak on trick.
Yeah.
Sneak on with Courier, the superintendent, saying, okay, now it's a really cute story. And Keegan shared it at the press conference when he was announced as the captain of the 25.
I remember that actually.
Team. Yeah, and he said that his senior year, he and his buddy George went across the road. And Keegan was the instigator. He goes, come on, let's go. Let's go. I got to play 18. And I went and played there Saturday of his victory at the Travelers. And that's a fun story, too, how that all happened. And the caddy that I had, he was there. And he told me that he and George didn't make it a half a hole. And here comes the golf cart. Hey, what are you guys doing? And when Keegan told the story, he goes, we're laughing now, but they were not happy. So the connection, I think, is also part of it. And to your point, Bob, as far as, him playing and stuff, I don't know, but no one knows the golf course better than he does. No one. You can't. Right. So, and they had a white van. They paid $600 for it. And the superintendent said, you got to drive down the maintenance road and park by the maintenance shed. And, he said, Dad, it was the greatest time of my life. He says it on anyway, he said 7 or 8 guys from the St. John's golf team would climb out of this white van, golf clubs, and they'd go loop those 13 holes on the other side of the road. And Keegan said it was his happiest time of his life when it comes to the game of golf. That's connection with the track.
Here's the other thing that I'm not going to say thankfully, because that's not the right word, but if Lucas Glover was playing better golf right now, he actually won his U.S. Open at Bethpage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think
I love him. I love watching him play, man. Jeez.
I think he's not had the greatest year, and he's kind of too far down the list. But I bet if he were in the 10 to 15 range, it'd be hard to not pick Lucas.
It would be. And by the way, Lucas was overlooked a few years ago too.
I was just going to say that he was certainly on that short list and got overlooked.
He and Keegan spoke, and Keegan said that I talked him down because this is some inside information that my son told me about talking with Lucas. Lucas was not happy, and Keegan said, "Lucas, don't say anything. Just take it, and it stinks, but be careful. You go nuts, and the next thing you know." So I love that choice. That's what I'm saying. There's a couple of choices Keegan might have to make. I don't think he can lose. Knock on wood.
Hey, Mark, if I remember right, the controversial pick was Justin Thomas because he really didn't deserve it. But he played great in the Ryder Cup.
He did.
Yeah.
No, and I hate to put the other guys in there because there was 3 guys that Zach passed Keegan for.
Yep.
And all I'm going to say is everybody says, oh, they picked Justin Thomas over Keegan. Nope. No, that wasn't it. And I love the other 2 guys, and she was. But I can tell you right now, and I'm not speaking for my boy, but I want JT on that team.
Yeah.
I made the point.
His way on. Yeah.
I made the point in our last show that we were chatting about, obviously, the Ryder Cup because it's on all of our minds. If you go back to Whistling Straits, Scotty was like number 50 in the world at that time and was a questionable pick. And I remember that the comment was, he's going to be great in the team room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was his break. I really think that was what made him say, hey, I can play on this stage with these guys. And he's never looked back. So
it's kind of like Ludwig too, right? Like he was brand new in the last Ryder Cup and they put him on the team and
Yeah, he produced.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, I want to just touch back on what you were talking about Keegan in his youth, having fun, going out to Bethpage Black playing, and just for the joy of it. And I think it's pretty ironic and interesting at this time, right? Cameron Young just wins on the PGA Tour, finally wins. His dad is a PGA pro.
Yep.
Obviously, you're a PGA pro for Keegan.
Yep.
Mike Thomas, PGA pro for Justin. Like, just a really neat symmetry there. I know you well. I know Mike Thomas well. I don't know Cameron Young's dad, but I don't know if you saw Joel Damon's comment recently. And every time we have you on the show, I love your perspective about youth golf, about working with kids at Jackson Hole, Wyoming, back in the New England PGA. You did a phenomenal job teaching kids, but I love your perspective on the teaching coaching that's different and refreshing. I mean, obviously with Keegan, phenomenal success there, but Joel Damon had said, hey, if money's tight and, you know, these travel baseball games and travel soccer and all the travel and the AJGAs for golf, you spend a lot of money to get into tournaments to go everywhere. Now, Joel had a really interesting take that he said, find out where there's an AJG event or a top junior golf event, go to that club later in the day after the event finishes, play the same tees, see how your kid compares. Maybe it's the next day you go to that event. And, you know, it's just a really interesting take to maybe save a few dollars, but get your kid out there. Granted, it's not quite in the, you know, the crucible of competition, but what's your take on that? Or just share with everybody your take on just youth golf and how you try to get kids to get better at the game.
Well, I think what Joel says is pretty brilliant because the AJGA, I think, is the premier junior golf circuit in the world. I don't know. I just know that
for sure
it was a big deal when Keegan first got into his first AJGA event. And it's interesting enough, he gets paired with John Curran. And John Curran's from Hopkinton, where I
know John Curran.
You know John.
Yeah.
And he was the best junior in the country.
He's a great player.
And I remember when Keegan came back from playing with John and being at his first AJGA event and the whole thing, I said, how'd it go with, you know, basically the great John Curran? And he said these words to me. He goes, you know what, Dad? I think we could be friends. Cool thing to say. He's like 14, 15 over here, whatever, 14. And they were both each other's best man at their weddings. And to this day, they are best of friends. But John, you know, pushed Keegan, and Keegan pushed John. And, you know, two kids coming out of Hopkinton High School make it to the PGA Tour. You know, it's one thing for, you know, 4 or 5 guys to make it out of Georgia.
Yeah.
Bulldogs, but small New England town.
Right.
And that was the other thing with Keegan coming out of Woodstock, really, because that's where he's from. He's a Vermonter. He's 11th grade in the Woodstock school system and stuff. And it just so happened that I ended up at Hopkinton Country Club as an assistant. And there's John Curran. And there's Dick Bliss. There's the whole, you know, Hopkinton high school scene. And we're living in Tin Cup too.
Yeah.
And you know that story. I bought that 28-foot camper trailer and we had it at a campground in Bolton, Mass. And they said, well, you got to live in Hopkinton to get him into this school. And I did, and he did. And they won the Massachusetts High School Championships and all of that. But maybe I'm drifting off too much on all of this. For me, with the junior golf and the way I did it and still do it is I try not to say too much, you know, too much significance without enough mass. And what I say by mass is, let's go out on the golf course and let's chip and putt and hit this 100-yard shot and let's go hit some tee balls and, you know, the real deal. And I'm blessed to be able to have that. I call it the Rancho Deluxe. And at my stage of the game with teaching, the Rancho Deluxe, it's one of the great movies of all time, by the way. And the Rancho Deluxe is, we spent some time on the lesson tee. And, you know, we talk about this and we talk about that. But we jump on the golf cart, and I know that I can take my student, whatever age, out onto the golf course and hit some shots out there. And they have more fun at it. And with juniors, with my junior program that we had for 16 years at the Jacksonville Golf and Tennis Club, a little bit of time on the range, but we're going to play like 4 fivesomes, scramble. Hit it in the hole, get it in. That's the object. Get them to like it, and then and only then can you get them to love it. And that's what I did with my kid.
Oh, it's interesting you say that. Earlier this year, we had the USGA National Team USA, which they just formulated this national junior team, and they played a match at our club with Canada against Canada, and I got to play a practice round with a group of the kids. And,
wow!
And one of the things that stuck out to me is how supremely talented they all are. Like their golf swings are great. Like it's just amazing how polished they are.
Yeah.
But the one thing they're not polished on is playing the golf course, playing the game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you watch them swing golf club and you're like, this 16-year-old kid swings like a 30-year-old, but you forget that they're still teenagers. And the way that they go about, making their way around the golf course is where they need the most help. So
that's why I bring them out there.
Yeah. I think it's super valuable,
and they just so much enjoy it. And yeah. Do we need to spend time on the range? Yes. But I'm a big grip guy. People ask me, what'd you do with Keegan and everything? And sometimes I think he wanted to hear more from me. But hey, listen, this is way before all the technology and stuff. And I knew you can't see the angle of attack. You tell a lot by the divot. I'm an organic guy, and you guys probably all are too. That's the way I had to teach. I didn't. And now this is fine, all this TrackMan stuff. Keegan's way into it, and all these kids. I told some kids I had for a golf lesson the other day, I said, listen, I'm going to give you more organic stuff rather than, I don't have the tech. I don't want the tech right now. Do I want my son to have it? Yeah. But sounds cliche, but I wanted to keep it fun. And I think I did. My dad was tough. And that was my education. I said, I'm not going to be tough. I'm going to be, I'm going to give you the opportunity and stuff, but get mad because he had a bad day playing golf. I said, I'm lucky that doesn't. Now today he was, his putting was not good at the BMW. And,
yes.
but I don't get mad. I feel bad for him because we're all out there playing pretty good tee to green and then stinking the house out with the putter. It's not fun. I don't care what level you're at. It's not fun. So that's more the route that I take rather than, kicking pine cones and spitting and getting pissed like my old man did.
Speaking of the BMW and the FedEx playoffs are coming on right now, Mark, I mean, there's some people that are close to the tour. You're obviously pretty close into the tour of the Keegan. And what's your take on the playoff? There's a lot of talk now about redoing this whole playoff system. Some people are into it. For the most part, it's sort of vague. But, what's your take on what's happening now and any changes that might happen?
Well, I think the first thing that I would do is I change some of the venues. It's too hot. That's probably not what you were expecting to hear from me, but this Irish blood is sitting there going 95 degrees. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how Keegan does it now. He's been more acclimated because he lives down south now, but I get out here, anything over north of 85, and I'm dragging. So I would consider changing that. You're not going to change the Danny Thomas or the St. Jude. I mean, that's just been there, and it's a wonderful track. And so I get that. But boy, oh boy, it's going to be super hot in Baltimore this week, and then Atlanta. Yep. They probably don't want to hear me say that. And then, so that's one thing. And then something's not quite right. I think the math is amazing when you get to who makes it to the top 50. Last year, I'm out playing golf. Keegan's 51st. He's done. And then I decided 2 holes later to take a peek. Anthony Kim goes, or Tom Kim goes 666. Now Keegan's 50th. Hey, let's go to Colorado, and I see him win for the first time. So the math is really good there. And then they tried it with saying that Scotty was 10 under on the first tee at East Lake, and that didn't work. So
no other sport does that. Like playoffs are survive in advance.
Yeah. That's a good point. So I don't know what they need to do, but when you have, it seems like the TV ratings are up, and that's neat. That's exciting. And we're getting past the old Tiger Woods era or whatever. And we got this new guy, Scotty Scheffler, who, in my opinion, he's playing at least as well as Mr. Woods. This guy is, and look where he is now. He's 3 back, but he's second. What a player!
Oh, he's definitely, Mark. He's definitely. If you go back to last week at Memphis, what a great first leg of the playoffs. I mean, talking about guys rolling the rock, clutch putting. Felt for Tommy Fleetwood again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Justin Rose, J.J. Spawn, and there's Scotty Scheffler.
Gee whiz.
Right there again. But, Andy, you had mentioned before we hit record that what was it, the golf stat guy? My man Lou
Stagner, yeah. Like his solution was, you start everybody starts at the same. You've made it to the playoffs, and you start making cuts. Like the first, I think he said the first tournament, you go from 70 to whatever the number is, 50 or 36 or whatever it is. And then the next one, you make a halfway cut, and once they make that halfway cut, the last 36 holes, everyone starts from the same spot again. So it's more of a this stage to this stage to this stage, and every stage
like a cumulative.
No, it's not cumulative. Every stage, everyone starts at scratch.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, like the interesting part of that is it's way more suspenseful, right? Like anybody could win, but because the playoff, and then you'd never get Rory not playing last week because he'd be out, right?
Right. So that needs work.
Yeah, but it's way more suspenseful knowing that if you could make that 36-hole cut at East Lake by a shot, and then all of a sudden, bang, you're in it for the last 36.
So
probably this is going to be this. I was going to say this is probably, Andy, I love the idea and probably this is a bad imitation, but you could truly have a Cinderella story then.
Yeah, you could.
You could, but you couldn't too, because there is a necessity for you to be playing good enough to make it through every stage, right?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, and I think it needs to be more suspenseful because, but that doesn't mean the Celtics aren't going to get eliminated first round or whatever the heck it is.
Well, it's the same thing, right? It's you can have a great regular season like the Bruins did a few years ago, set the record, and then lost in the first round. It's like
best record in the history of the NHL.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Guess what?
So that's where they got to go. Yeah, there you go, man. That's where they have to head.
I just think it's a better option.
Yeah.
And
this new guy's coming in, and I don't know him. I was really a big fan of Jay Monahan too.
Me too.
He played hockey at Belmont High, Mr. Baldessari.
That's right.
He was a big hockey guy, and he played St. Louis hockey. And he's a Bruins fan up and down. I really liked him a lot, and I'm going to miss him because he's a good guy.
That whole family is great.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're great. They're great.
Brother Brendan, his brother Justin, their dad Joe is a great guy.
Yeah.
It's a great family.
It was funny. I was coming back from Colorado, the tournament that Keegan won, the BMW, last year with my buddy. And we stopped at Eagle Creek, where my first cart attendant in my career is now the head pro. And he was the Colorado Golf Professional of the Year. So I'm very proud of that. And then we drove up the road a little farther and we went to the Windwalker Ranch. And that's the Augusta National guys. And and so they have a 9-hole golf course there, and they have the Yampa River that flows through there, and it's amazing fishing. And while I was there at the ranch, because my friend runs it, he said, "See that guy right over there?" And I looked, and he goes, "That's Jay Monahan." Jay loves to fly fish, so he was out there, and he came off the creek, and it was really amazing. We're in the middle of nowhere in Colorado, and he's going, "I saw your kid win yesterday. And I saw you."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, cool. Would you catch anything?" Oh, yeah. That's good fishing there. So that's fun stuff. And I wish him all the best. And I think he's going to be just fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And I hope this new fellow comes in and makes a couple of tweaks here and there and gets that FedEx Cup thing figured out to where it is suspenseful. That's what we need.
Speaking of kids, Andy, there's a kid making noise out in the USAM right now.
Yes, I'm gonna check old John Daly II.
Is he still alive?
He's all right. I'm gonna give you the update because he
What
was
a story.
4 up through 9.
Oh boy.
In his round of 16 match, and now he's 3 up through 13. So if he hangs on, he's making it to the quarterfinals. And John Daly is
pretty cool.
Might be the best actor in Happy Gilmore.
Oh,
is he good?
But I'm super happy for John Daly II. I think it's awesome.
That's a good story.
I was told I need to watch the first one. And then,
it's the stupidest 2 golf movies.
That's what I heard too. Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But they're funny.
Did you see that? Did you see that scene where they tried to, or not scene that where they had JD2 try to recreate his dad driving the green in the USAM?
Yeah.
With today's equipment.
Right. You couldn't do it.
About that.
Couldn't do it.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm now pulling for this kid.
Me too.
Unless Nate Smith is still alive. Nate.
He beat Nate Smith.
He beat Nate. Okay. Because
He
Nate
played him in the round of 16 or
Okay.
32.
Okay. Yeah. Because Nate, I think he still has a home on the other side of the Tetons from us here and played with Keegan back in the old web.com or whatever, Keegan Nationwide or, Corn Ferry.
Yeah.
And he was a good player, and he's still a good player. Gee whiz. He got to the round of 16.
Yeah,
I'll
he
read.
lost 2-1 to Daly II.
He did. Okay. Well,
From Teutonia, Idaho.
so that's where they got him listed? Yeah, it's right over on the other side of the mountains from here.
Yeah.
I got to get a hold of him because he remembers playing with Keegan back in the early days. Hooters tour.
Yeah.
You talk about playing for your own money. It's $750 entry fee. Hopefully 100 guys play. There's 75,000. There's a cut. And if you're not top 4, you're losing money. And Keegan did it. He did it for a year. And it was part of his process.
Exactly.
Well, boys, I hate to say it, but we're approaching number 18. So I got to change that right there. Oh, I got to move Bobby out of Bobby and I are in the way, though. That's an 18th flag.
Just for
nice producing there, Alan. That's good.
Smooth. He's smooth.
Well, you guys are great. And maybe we should touch base maybe sometime around that Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be out here the 22nd. I'm inside the ropes. So I'm really psyched about that. And, the first time that
we can't skip the 18th.
What's that?
We can't skip the 18th tee here. So we got one last segment to go.
Oh, we do. So, okay,
Yeah.
good. But
Bobby or Andy, why don't you go for it? Final thoughts.
Okay, my final thought is kind of a dual purpose. Don't be that guy or don't be those guys. in my final thoughts. So there's a kid who's a social media golfer, and he's a good player. His name is Alex Zarat, and he made it to Olympic for the USAM.
Hey, man.
He played horrible.
It's all right. He made it there.
And he's getting roasted by a bunch of hacks on social media. And it just blows my mind that this kid made it to the USAM, like the top 300 golfers, amateur golfers in the world make it to the USAM, and he's getting roasted by a bunch of golf bros.
I'll see that now. I don't like it.
Yeah. So
it's like, they'll play in a golf tournament or something, and Keegan plays in this tournament, and the writers will say, it's a weak field. What? These guys are tour players.
Yeah.
There might be 200 in the what? It drives me nuts, and this is a similar situation.
So that's my 18th tee.
Good one.
Bobby?
All right, let's start with Go Bees. Maybe this is our year. Happy Gilmore. It's
hope
good
so,
to be with fellow New Englanders.
Yeah.
For sure. I just want to give a quick shout out to Megan Ghani. She won the U.S. Women's Amateur.
You took mine.
I had the privilege of getting to know her when I was running drive, chip, and putt. Met her at Augusta. She was there 4 times at the final.
Wow.
You could tell that. I mean, there's some of the kids that come through there that you can tell they have talent. They all have talent. But certain kids went through there that I thought, wow, I got to keep an eye on that one. And she was one of them. So she had a great career. She's at Stanford. I think, obviously, we're going to see a lot more about her. And great competitor.
What's her name again?
MEGHA, Mega Ghani.
Mega Ghani.
Yeah. Good. I'll look for both those names, actually.
Yeah. And thank you, Mark, for joining us. We need you on. Maybe we'll get you like a quiet please little walkie-talkie. You'll be inside the ropes, and we can do the show live.
I am inside the ropes, which I said to Keegan. We're having dinner somewhere, and I said, Keegan, I'm inside the ropes, right? He goes, Dad, I don't know, because I'm inside the ropes when he was a player, but maybe not as captain. I don't know. But then I found out, I think a week or so ago, that my credentials do include inside the ropes, and I got some tickets for some people in the family, and we'll all be there.
Well, enjoy the hell out of it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. Thanks, and you guys are awesome, and you can talk to me anytime.
And since Bobby took my final thought, I'm just going to say, watch Happy Gilmore. Enjoy the Ryder Cup. Enjoy the FedEx playoffs. And that's all I got. Till next week, boys.
Adios, boys.
See ya.
See you. Thank you.
You only have one opportunity to sell your golf property. Shouldn't you partner with an expert that offers you 30 plus years of golf industry experience combined with the reach of a global leader in real estate? Colliers International Golf Brokerage and Advisory Services understands your unique business needs. Whether it is brokerage, management, and consulting, be reassured that the market leader in the business of golf is providing you the real answers and practical solutions you deserve. Contact Golf Talk Live co-host and Colliers Golf Advisory Services member Alan Depew today at 717-554-8519. That's 717-554-8519.